Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever we are. Excuse me. This is your favorite discovery coach here again, and we are live. Yes. Thank you to Ngozi, always being the first here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope we are all well. I hope our week has been great. And today we're just going to be reminding ourselves of what our role is as a mom, as moms are. We're just going to, it's just going to be a little reminder for the next, 45 minutes, 1 hour. We're just going to be reminding ourselves of who we are. We know what our role is. It's not just confined to the house. It's not just confined to, you know, what's it called? It's not just confined to a building. We're going to be seeing how, we lead even from the home, and how to live a life of influence without leaving your living room. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be worth your time. Just a few reminders, things that subconsciously you are aware of, but life happens, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed, And yes, we're just gonna have 45 minutes, 1 hour on this ride, and let's start. One reminder that I would need to give you this afternoon: you are the heartbeat of your home. You are also the architect of your own future. So you're the heartbeat of your home, but you're also the architect of your own future. Remember when we talked about designing a life, designing your life, not just living life on autopilot, not just, just cruising through life. You are the heartbeat of your home. Yes, the home does well with you, with all your organizing or your arranging on everything that you do. You're doing such a great job, being the heartbeat. But you're also the architect of your own future. So you're not going to wait for somebody else to come and design a life, or someone to have an eureka moment for you. You're also going to be able to not just be the architect of your own home, but also, the heartbeat of your own home, but you're also at the heartbeat of the architect of your own future. I'm getting it all mixed up. I apologize. So you're the heartbeat of your home, but you're also the architect of your future. You know, um, Being at home doesn't also mean your life is on pause. Being a mom doesn't mean your life is on pause. We've talked about in previous webinars how, you create that time, you schedule time. You say you're having a self appointment with yourself. You're having a self appointment. What do you want out of your life when your kids are grown and then they are out of the house? What is it? What is that role you want to play? So you start to realize it, and you start to do things, that actually um align to the things that you desire for your future. It's not leaving it to chance. It's not about leaving it to chance. It's not about waiting for um stepmother, fairy godmother to come and try and make it happen. No, you will sit down, you'll design it, and then you will do the work towards the kind of future that you want, even as a mom. So yes, you're everything to everyone. You're the driver, you're the everything, but what is it that you want for yourself? What is it that you want to achieve? And then it gives you a sense of fulfillment. Motherhood is very fulfilling, we know that. But what is it that you want to achieve that gives you a sense of fulfillment? It's not about doing more. It's all about seeing yourself differently as a leader, and as an influencer, and as a culture shaper. So when you pour into your home, when you pour into your children's life, we're not asking you to, okay, start doing more, start the the up and down never ends, the rhythm never ends. No, we're just saying, see yourself differently. See yourself differently. There are many people whose lives have been shaped just because of the kind of moms that brought them up, or the kind of parents that they have. And also there's so many people that some sort of are disadvantages to their children. So what kind of mom do you want to be? You make up your mind. I want to be an influencer. I want to shape the next generation. And as you pour into your children, as you lead your children, I want you to see that you're not just a mom. Your title is not just being a mom. Your title is much more than that. You're a leader. You're a leader. You're a Hi Alicia, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. You're a leader. You're a commander. You're a culture shaper. You're not ordinary. You have the power. You are actually a co-creator with God. You have the power to design the lives of the people that have been given to you as children. So whatever you think about yourself, I want you to remove the just. You're not just a nobody. You're not just a mom. You're not just a wife. You're not just a woman. You are actually powerful. You have everything that it takes in you to, fulfill destinies, and not just your own destiny, even the destiny of your children. So you can't have such a big responsibility and a big workload and expect that we should just call you just. You know, maybe a couple of years ago, I would struggle with, when you ask me, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, just a mom. It's not just. And then I started to realize that, oh no, that was just belittling the amount of work we do. Whether you are home or whether you are a mom who works, this is irrelevant. I'm just saying to you that you actually have the power to influence. You have the power to shape culture. You have the power to, you are actually a leader. You're not an ordinary person. So what do leaders do? How do influencers behave? What do culture shapers do? I want you to start seeing yourself in that light, in that, in that capacity, that you're not just. What does it, when you think of a leader, what does a leader do? A leader leads. First of all, a leader would lead himself or herself. A leader would lead. What sort of leader are you? Are you a leader that has hello, Deborah, and hi there, everyone. Thank you for joining us. A leader, are you, I want you to just look at your life right now. Ask yourself, what sort of leader am I? Am I leading my home, or am I sitting in the background? Am I just allowing things to pass under my nose? What sort of leader am I? Am I a leader that commands authority in my home? You know that I was looking at the story of Hannah in the Bible, and it was very amusing. She wanted a child so badly. Her husband already had children from the other wife. She wanted a child so badly. She went to God, she prayed, and you all know the story. She got Samuel and she gave Samuel to God. I don't know how long Samuel was with her in terms of her being with Samuel, because she gave Samuel back. But whatever it was that she prayed for, Samuel never deviated from the way of the Lord. She said to God, Eli, I said, I will bring back this child. She said to God, sorry, that I will bring back this child and I'll dedicate this child to you. It's the power of the woman. It's the power of our words. It's the power it's the power in the confessions that we make. What's your confession in your home? Are you leading with your thoughts? Are you leading? In fact, what kind of vision do you even have for your children? For Samuel, she had a straight-on vision. She said, look, I'm going to bring this child back to God. And even though Samuel's children never made it as, God's godly children, but he himself never deviated from the lineage, from being serving God. What sort of leader are you when you speak words? What sort of words do you speak concerning your children? When you pray prayers over your children, what sort of leader are you? So you're not just a just. I want you to see the magnitude of the power you have as a mom, as a leader, as an influencer. You're a powerful influencer. You have what it takes to draw these children into the right path. But what sort of leader are you? These are the questions I want to open with. These are the things that I want us to think about, that we are not just. We are not. You see the children that have been given unto us. You see the people that we are leading in our homes. You are a powerful leader. So change your perspective today. If you've been thinking, about yourself and you've been thinking about your role with your children, you're not just washing diaper. You're not just cleaning bombs. You're not just doing laundry. It's not a just. In one hand, you're doing, you're washing the plates, you're washing the dishes, but on the other hand, you're a destiny shaper. You have the power. You're a leader. If you're not leading the whole world, at least you're leading in your home. And nobody can lead the whole world. We have what we were born for. We have what we came to the world for, and it's fine if we just fulfill. You see, fulfilling what we were called for, what we're here for, is more important than trying to be popular all over the place. Will your children live your leadership, and they are not mad by your leadership? They are strengthened by your leadership. They themselves go on to become leaders. What sort of leader are you? Examine x-ray your life, x-ray your situation, x-ray your mind. Does your mind produce leadership? Or when you think about yourself, you belittle yourself, you put yourself down, and you say, I'm just a mom. When you think towards the future of your children, do you compress it in things that don't matter, or do you hide it under things that don't matter? What's your pursuit? What's your goal? What's your vision? You're not just. So when you start to walk in the power of who you are as a powerful person, as a destiny shaper, as an influencer, as a culture shaper, as a leader, you will stop putting yourself in places where you do not need to be. The certain characteristics of a leader, they will not, you can't find them anywhere. You can't find them talking anyhow. How have you presented yourself as a leader towards your children, towards the people that God has given to you? You're a leader. Are you a leader that hides? I don't know any leader that hides, but are you a leader that hides? Are you a leader that is constantly displaying weakness? There's no strength. Meanwhile, you are clothed in strength. You are clothed. Your full regalia is you are clothed in strength. As women, we have what it takes to influence the next generation. And I just want us to have this as an opening charge. We're going to, remove it from your head, remove it from your mindset, remove it from your being, that you're just a just. That what you're doing, taking children to school, waking them up, doing this, doing that, is not just, it's shaping destiny. So it's not about doing more. It's about seeing yourself differently. So how do you now want to redefine leadership, since nobody will be calling you leader mommy or leader daddy or leader leader wife? Well, let's redefine leadership. It's not about the titles. It's not about job titles. What impact are you having on your children? It's about the impact you're having on your children. What impact are you having on your children? What impact are you having? In fact, let me say this thing. It has been on my mind since I heard it on Saturday. I was in a program over the weekend, and my mentor, Coach Wendy, said something, and it really blew my mind. She said, God has called us women to be helpers, but somebody who is helping somebody, is the person not stronger than? So if God has called me as a helper, I'm supposed to be helping someone. I'm supposed to be stronger than the person I'm helping. It blew my mind, because I'm like, yes, makes sense. Because if you find out, like let's use the story of Ahab and Jezebel, for instance. See how Jezebel just came, said, well, why are you crying? Because of somebody's garden, Naboth's garden. I know she was evil in her intention. But what I'm trying to say is that we have the power to shape. It's not about sitting down there and crying weakness. If God has called you as a helper, then it means that you are stronger than the person that you've been called to help. So there's a way to influence. There's a way to lead. It's not about titles. It's not about being called mom or wife. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Coach Wendy, Debbie. Oh, that's so funny. I was just giving an example from my mentor's speech over the weekend. Yes, because that example really, 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 really blew my mind. So it's about the impact. Have you ever seen yourself? Let me ask you a question. What do you see yourself as? Have you ever seen yourself as an influential person? Have you ever seen yourself that you are a person of impact, even though you're not, on social media dancing and, having 600 million followers? No, but inside the house that you are in, have you seen yourself as a person of impact? How do you see yourself? What's your perception of you, of your values, of the things when they say, what do women bring to the table? Oh, I read a comment on social media this morning from a man, and if I could hug him, I would have given him a hug. He said, see what women go through. We are the full table. Stop asking them what they bring to the table. You are the full table. You are the nurturer. You're the keeper of your home. You are the full table. So that means you have what it is. You see, the person who sent you will not send you without giving you the capacity. So capacity is not the problem. Sometimes it's just that we haven't realized how powerful we are. We haven't realized how much we carry. We haven't good morning, Ayo. We haven't realized how much we carry. So we stay and languish in weakness. We stay and languish in weakness. We stay and languish in emotions. We marinate in negative emotions and we stay there. We stay stuck. And that's not where we are supposed to be. So redefine what leadership is in your mind today. It's not about having title CEO of this, that. Those are good. And we'll get there. But in your own home, have you realized the impact you have in your home? Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. That's Simon Sinek. It's not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. And you're doing just that. So you're a leader. Let's bust some myths. Leadership isn't confined to the boardroom or to the pulpit. It's alive in the kitchen, the school run, the story times, the quiet choices you make daily. Your children come to you after a hard day at school and they're telling you the stories that their friends, they've gone through to their friends. And you start to tell them, oh, it's okay. I've been there before. When this happens next time, you do this, you do that. You brainstorm with your child. You do things that, you help your child go through the emotions. That's leadership. You're telling them bedtime stories, you're putting them to bed, tucking them in, giving them hugs, smiling at them. That's leadership. Change your mind. I know motherhood is very hard, but it's for a great cause. When you see yourself as an impact, you're happy to make that. So if, for instance, now you got a job and that job said they were going to pay you $120 million and you're never going to have to work again in your life because that money is so much, you just invest it here and there, and then you'll be so excited. I want you to find that excitement, with these things that you're doing in the kitchen, on the school run, in the story times, even when they throw a tantrum. I know it's hard. Kids can be a lot. I have to. I know. I'm not going to deny it, but it's worth it. It's the impact that I have. It's my opportunity to make impact. I may not have opportunity to make impact in your own house. I may not have opportunity to make impact, in so many places. But with the ones that God has given to me, with the ones that are in my house, I choose to make impact. So don't say I am just a mom. One last time, or maybe not, because I know I'm going to say it again. You are an impact maker. You are a destiny shaper. You're an influencer. You're a leader. When you start to see yourself in the true light of who you are, you will raise your shoulder and you will walk high. You are doing divine work, sacred work. You will start to respond to situations differently because you are seeing yourself in a different light. When that little helpless girl who you gave birth to, when you find out that you are her whole world at that time when she's really little, and you have everything it takes to shape this one to be a great leader, you will do your work without grumbling, without crumbling. Because you will realize that impact is what you have been called to do. You will give an account for the impact that you're making. Whether you made an impact or not, you're going to give an account. So why don't we live our lives, in that manner? So stay-at-home moms are leaders in the most formative places. They shape values, vision, and next generation. As you're talking to your children in the kitchen, as you're talking to them on the school runs, you're shaping their values even beyond what you're saying, what you are doing, and who you are. Remember one of our webinars where we said that when you rise, you're giving your children the opportunity to rise. This is what we're talking about. So when they see you rise, when they see you soar, when they see you fly like the eagle, you're giving them courage, serious courage. So it's beyond what you say on the school runs. It's how you show up. Do you show up with power that you are? It's how you show up. It's how you show up in your daily life. How you tell them, you're giving them a blueprint for their own life. I understand that yes, our brains are malleable and we can change. For instance, a lot of things that I'm doing now, I probably didn't learn them as a child, but I'm learning. But I would necessarily not have struggled so much if I had the blueprint from the beginning, if you get what I mean. So yes, you're giving them a blueprint for life. I'm not saying that they will get stuck in that blueprint if it's the wrong one, but why don't we just lay the right foundation for them from the beginning? And that's what leadership is. How you live, how you show up, how you speak to your husband, how you attend to stress, how you shape the way you talk, the way you think. Leadership. You're shaping values, you're shaping vision, you're shaping the next generation. I live in the UK and sometimes I look at a lot of I live in the UK and sometimes I see a lot of, anomalies. I'll call them anomalies because that's what they are to me. I was talking to a particular friend of mine who's a teacher and said, some parents working, so some children want to walk out of school during school time, and then the parents of these children, they won't let the children, and the children go home and tell their fathers that, or their mothers that, they didn't let me leave school when I wanted to leave school, and then they come to school to start fighting the teachers. That's in my opinion, that's just a very wrong way to raise the next generation. So you're telling them that they don't need to be accountable. I don't feel like it. I told my daughter, you don't do that in our house. We don't do, I don't feel like it. You will attend, you will submit to authority. You will submit to instructions. We don't do, we don't feel like it. It's not how they do you for body, no. It's beyond. Do you know how many things I don't feel like it that I have to stand up and do? So when I see this trajectory of children behaving how they be, anyhow, and it's funny because if you call the police for antisocial behavior, if for instance they attack you and you attack them back, it's you it's you that is defending yourself that they will arrest. As I was hearing this story one day and I was like, wow. So you are in neighbors and the police don't have anything. Oh, do your worst. All they do is they slap on the wrist. What are we raising? I fear for the next generation because the amount of immorality, the amount of decadence that's happening. You can't talk to young people. Why? They tell you off. They don't care how old you are. They don't send you. And it's quite scary. But you see us that are here, we can raise a different breed. And that's why, this cry is important. How are you leading? Are you that mom that goes back to the teacher to fight? I know they are not on this WhatsApp group. Are you that mom? Or your children don't take instructions? Sometimes my children's teachers, will say, children should do this. And my daughter was like, I don't feel like. I say, no, it's not a question of not feeling like, my darling. If the school says we should do it, as much as that it's not sinful, it's not outside our boundaries. This is what the school has agreed for a day. We are doing it. We have to, because I don't want her to grow up to believe that it's how I feel, because feelings are very subtle, they're very deceptive, and they're very fickle. So are they seeing you also submit? Are they seeing you accountable? Are they seeing you rise? Are they seeing you grow? What are they seeing in you? What are you mirroring as a mom, as an impact maker, as a leader, as an influencer, as a culture shaper? What's the culture around you? Do you keep friends that you have no business keeping? Or do you have associations that you have no business associating yourself with? When you become a mom, you actually lose the right to become anyhow, and that's the honest truth. So we are leading and we are leaders, but I want us to also, look. Good morning, Esther. Look inward and see, what are we doing? We are powerful. And it's unfortunate that even this powerful is, even in the other way. So if you are a bad influencer, you will raise children who are badly behaved. It's not like it's the good ones that are in the impact maker and then it's the bad ones that are impact makers and not no. Whether good or bad, you're an impact maker because you're forming destiny. You are creating blueprints. So whether you are a good mom or you're the permissible mom or you're the mom who allows anything to happen, we are still shaping destinies. but we want to be of those who will raise, good morning, Nkoye, who would raise people, who would raise children. So impact making is not just, we want to be good impact makers. That's the bottom line. So think about your life right now and, you know, where have you been leading without recognizing it? In what areas? The other day, my daughter took I barely wear high heel shoes, maybe once a year. Don't have the I don't have the bandwidth for it because I'm always I'm in children's church, so up and down, up and down. There's no way that high heels will work. But anyway, that's by the way. So I took my high heels, I put them out because I wanted to dress nice that day. My daughter took my high heels, she took my necklace. She's like, "Mommy, I look like you." That statement was more than "Mommy, I look like you." I started asking, what about me? Do I not want my daughter to look like? Because it's not just about, taking my shoes and everything. She's mirroring me in so many ways. Sometimes when she says something, I'm like, Debs, go and work on yourself first before you start telling this girl to correct herself. She's mirroring us in many ways. So we are leaders. We are leading from home. We are leading in all the things that we do. Unfortunately, positive or negative, we are leading. So let's look inward. But beyond that, where have you been leading without even recognizing it? What mannerisms have your children taken that you're not even, and you're like, oh my God, this girl really looks like me. Is he a nice looking like you? Or you're like, do I need to adjust? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. I'll go to my second part, which is owning your inner authority, your mindset. Accept it. We've said it before that you're not just a mom. You are a visionary steward of hearts, values, and atmosphere. What you are is very crucial. What the atmosphere you create is very crucial to the children that you're bringing up, to the destinies that you're making. Even your own atmosphere, your own life, because you yourself, you're fulfilling destiny, your own self. So it's not just whether or not children are involved. What's your atmosphere? What's the energy around you? What's the vibe around you? Are you constantly pessimistic, down, never can see the bright side of things, worried? What's the atmosphere you're creating? It's very important. In our 5 week becoming her program that we're going to be doing, we're starting our first module on Monday. I'm sorry, on Sunday by 8. And I was doing the outline, and I was seeing how your mind, your body, your spirit can be so disconnected. And that's why when the chaos comes in, that's when the inconsistency comes in, that's when the overwhelm comes in. I'll be teaching that in 5 week programs, not for this, it's not for this webinar. But you're creating an atmosphere. You as a person, you have a body, you have a spirit, you have a mind. You're creating an atmosphere. What's the atmosphere around you? Today you're doing this, tomorrow you're doing that. They never know where you stand. Your children never know where you stand. You start this, you can't finish it. It's something happening on the inside of you. What is it that you're creating? Can your children look at you and say, if mommy says 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock is 6 o'clock, what's the atmosphere? Are you creating an atmosphere of hope? Are you creating an atmosphere of disappointment? When she says she's going to buy you something, today everybody starts to jump. Then the next thing, like, oh, mommy has forgotten again. What is the atmosphere you're creating in your home? It's very important. Are you building trust? Or are you building constant disappointment? And then you start hearing, when some people are adults and say, I can't trust anyone. Maybe you never had a system of trust around you. Maybe you never, people constantly, your primary caregivers always constantly broke their promise towards you. You're constantly late coming to pick you up from school, never on time. So you're creating an atmosphere of, that doesn't value time, that doesn't value space, that doesn't value energy, brings in negative energy. You come in, you complain about Nigeria, you complain about UK, you complain about the world, you complain about resources, you complain. So your children constantly, what they are hearing is ta, 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 complain. What's the atmosphere you're creating in your home? What's the atmosphere you're creating around your children? These are very crucial questions. I'm not rushing it. They're very crucial questions that we need to think about. Very crucial questions. Influence starts with believing your perspective matters. What's your perspective? Do you think your mind, one of our slogans here is my voice matters, right? Do you really believe it? Do you really, really see it that your voice matters? Sometimes I'm in a WhatsApp group and people are asking all sorts of questions, not asking, sorry, forwarding all sorts of messages. While I'm okay with being aware with everything that is going on in the world, but be careful how much you listen to with everything going on in the world. Oh, that person's son became this. Oh, that person's son became useless. Then they will now even end the forwarded messages. Parents, be careful. Oh, you can never be too careful. I get it. We can never be too careful. But what is the voice that is in your own heart? Are you taking on other people's worries or other people's struggles? Are you allowing outside pressure make you doubt even your own parenting, make you doubt your own leadership in your own home? You read all these forwarded messages, you hear, you saturate. You've never ever sat down to saturate your mind with success stories that somebody did this thing right and she got the results that she was looking for. You see, bad news travels faster than good news, and it's unfortunate. So they share these messages like they care. Oh, we care. We want everybody to be aware. We want everybody to be careful. But I also tell my mind, I keep a gate in my mind, and I say, no, it's not like it's not my portion. But what's the voice I believe? If I believe, our beliefs are very strong. Remember when Job said, "What I feared greatly has come upon me." Our beliefs are very strong. So be careful. Be careful how you take on all the other narratives that are around you. If you have a sense of doom all the time, maybe you should join us in our becoming her 5 week course. If you have your constant sense of doom, constant sense of imminent danger, constant sense of something is going to happen, my efforts are never enough, I am not enough, constant, it's so constant, then there's a fundamental problem or programming that is happening in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, that you need to go through a curriculum to change it, because it's not a good place to be. Some people, in fact, there was one time like that. There was a particular lady who came to stay in my house, and her level of paranoia was disabling. Unfortunately for me, she's not my mate. She's not. I didn't have kind of felt like I didn't have a say to her not staying, because she was related to the other side of the family, and I just didn't want trouble. But her level of paranoia, I was like, God, please let me not buy this woman's fear. She was literally afraid of every single thing. If she one day we were having a conversation, and her niece was saying that if you stayed with her, you would know that she oh, don't go outside. There's knife crime outside. There's shooting outside. There's this outside. So even when I was driving from the airport, I'm in England, so we drive on the wrong side of the road. So you're too close. I'm like, no. I don't want to drive with fear. I don't want to drive with fear. What's your atmosphere? What's your belief system? Is there a constant state of doom telling you will never make it? Oh, you could do all these things and everything will be spoiled. Your destiny, this destiny people are talking about, this redesigning your life, this rediscovering yourself is such a difficult, task. Oh, no. Are you constantly under pressure? Be careful the narratives that you are believing. Be careful that, be careful what you believe. Be careful the atmosphere. So when you say things like, who am I? When you say things like, I haven't done enough, you're constantly feeling like I'm never enough. That's how you begin to mute yourself. That's how you begin to, that's how you begin to mute yourself. That's how you play small, even inside your own house. Your house that you're supposed to be the one that is leading, that you're supposed to be the one thriving. You start to play small. You start to mute yourself. You start to compare yourself, and you start to, be afraid of being seen. So you're in a community, you're in a group, you're in your children's school. You can't volunteer for PTA, you're constantly hiding, things like that. You need to be be aware. Be aware that these things are not normal. Be aware that these things are normal. Because when you know what is wrong, you can actually ask for help. Social silencing, even from within well-meaning cycles. So you just find out that you're constantly keeping quiet, muting yourself. This is your call. I don't know why I'm, staying on my part 2 for so long, but this is your call. You can't stay in a constant state of doom and expect anything good to come out of your life. Because your spirit, your mind, and your heart has to agree. There must be agreement. There must be an agreement within these three before your body can act. And that's why you find out that you start, but you can't finish, because there's no agreement within these three. Your heart believes that, oh, it is well with me. Your spirit believes that, oh, it is well with me, but your heart is constant. Your mind now takes it on and says, oh, I have a mind of my own. Oh, this guys, I'm just going to think what I want to. You see, there's no agreement. So that's when overwhelm comes in. Because when there's an agreement, it gives you fuel for your journey. Your body starts to do, but your body doesn't know who to believe. Should I believe the spirit that says it believes, or should I believe the heart that is always doubting, or should I believe the mind that is so confused? Who am I believing? So overwhelm sets in. So you start, you stop, you start, you stop. No consistency. You are stuck in cycles that you don't even understand yourself. And it becomes a constant, it becomes a pattern. Beware of patterns. Beware of patterns. So if you see that your body, you see there's you want something so badly, but you're not moving your whole body. You tell yourself, I want to start doing business from home for an example. I'm very good at baking. I don't know why I love the example of baking. Maybe because I like cake and I can't bake. But I'm very good at baking and I want to start baking, but you now find out that you leave it till tomorrow. You leave it till tomorrow. You leave it till tomorrow. But when you find the agreement between your spirit, your body, and your spirit, your body, and your heart, and when there's an agreement, when there's an internal agreement with all these parts of you, and you will find the fuel. So you will stop saying tomorrow, because there's fuel for you to. So what is your condition right now? What's your state right now? Is that something that you've been meaning to start? Is that some other, apart from in the home front, that you've been meaning to lead, but you're not leading? And these things are very, very, very subtle. You think your children cannot figure you out. You think your children don't know what you are doing. You think your children don't know who you are. They do. Children are very perceptive. They do. So you tell them, oh, don't be afraid, but you. Hello? Sorry, I don't know what's going on. I apologize for that. Says my camera was disconnected. I apologize profoundly. Anyway, so what would we do now? Start by acknowledging your how to lead, but going back to how to lead. Start by acknowledging your small wins. If you created a routine, acknowledge that you've done well in creating that routine. You averted a crisis in the home. Acknowledge that. Just start Start to acknowledge who you are in the little things that you're doing. Start to acknowledge who you are in the little things that you're doing. Practice confidence building rituals, mirror talk, affirmations, voice journaling. Like I said the last time, journal your voice, hear yourself, tell yourself, the things that you need to hear. Video restored. Thank you. I don't know what went on, to be honest. Now I'm using a very poor camera, so I hope I can still be seen. So what we're going to go to, so write down in 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 trying to understand how your leadership has been, I want you to write down 3 ways you've made a difference this week in your home, online, or in a conversation. Just start to recognize your leadership qualities wherever you are. I'm talking of, just I have led this way, I have led this way, I have led that way, I have led this way, I have led that way. Just look, being aware of what you're doing, of who you are, is a very powerful tool. It's not underrated. It's such a powerful tool, because when you walk in the awareness of who you are, of what you are, of what you can do, it changes the game. So you stop walking anyhow. You walk with your, and it's not a question of you're walking with your shoulders tall. It's a question of there's an aura that it creates around you. There's an aura that it creates around you. So we're going to talk about influence doesn't always look glamorous. It looks like consistency, intention, and alignment. We've talked about inconsistency and why a lot of times we're inconsistent, because there's no alignment, there's no agreement within us, and when your children see you turn up or show up consistently, when your children see you in your consistency, when they see you in your intention, in how you align on the inside, in how much power, you see, they know the powerful moms, they do, and they respond to that power. So it doesn't look glamorous. It's that intentionality, is that consistency, is that alignment within you. When you're fueled by the alignment that comes within, I've talked about the spirit, the heart, and the mind. When that alignment comes, another way to lead from home, apart from leading your children or leading your home, is you could host monthly coffee morning for local moms. You could host a couple of your friends, talk about things that have value, just bringing value to the people around you. You could start sharing your values through content, Instagram, your WhatsApp status, things like that. As you start to share, you're also helping people to see that, look, I bring value. When they are in trouble, they will come and look for you. And that's how it starts. That's how the leadership starts. That's how you grow, one mom at a time. You bring her close. You see this young mom who just gave birth, she's in your neighborhood, you help her, you guide her, just one or two. The point I'm trying to make is no more hiding. There are people in your church, there are people in your spaces who will do well because of your leadership. So no more hiding. Let your children also see you lead in volunteering in community spaces. Let them see you lead. That way you're actually also helping them to become leaders themselves in their school. They will no longer be hiding. They'll be able to tell their friends no. They'll be able to stand up for themselves. Volunteer with intention on the school boards, kids club, community causes. This morning, I have already gone to the children's school to volunteer for 1 hour, and I was, there's a sense of joy that, in fact, sometimes when the other volunteers come and I can't make it, my children say, "Mommy, we didn't see you volunteering today," and I'm like, yes. These children don't understand that I can't live in their school, but they are seeing you. They're actually very happy. They are like volunteer. My mom's volunteer, so they're like, you see them, they're always together, because there's this thing that it brings when you are visible, when you stop hiding, and you don't need millions of followers. You just need one person impacted by your obedience. So what's your decision today? In what area are you going to lead today? In what area are you going to show that you are a leader and you can be followed? Everything you are doing now is part of a bigger story. Every meal cooked, every story read, and every boundary kept is legacy work. You're not waiting for one big, because the Bible says that he who is faithful in little will be given more. So when you show the faithfulness in the little that you have, you will grow. You'll be given more. But when you don't show the faithfulness, when you're not faithful in the little that is before you, then there's a problem. Your children are learning from your wholeness. Your friends and spouse are influenced by your growth. So at this point, I'm just going to round off. I know I've said a lot, and I know I've spoken extensively about, being visible, being a leader, your thoughts, your atmosphere, kind of atmosphere that you create in the house. I know I've said so much, but you were not just called to raise leaders. You on this call, you and me talking to you, we were called to be one. You don't need 100 million followers. What's your decision today? How are you going to lead? And if you're battling inside of you with so much overwhelm, so much pending doom, so much stress, so much inconsistency, join us on our becoming her. You don't even have to be battling with so much. But these things are not gotten just by a one-off. These things are not just gotten just by it comes with what you're constantly hearing. We talked about guarding your heart, guarding the messages that are around you, all those forwarded messages. Or, when they say bad news, some people have never put status. I've never really, really seen their status. Yesterday, I had to see India flight, Air India crashed. They will never put something that has happened, good. I've not seen on their status before. We need to be careful. You put a gate in your mind, in your heart. You put a gate around you. You put a gate, boundaries. Put boundaries around you so that you're not just, inundated by everything and everyone. Leadership is rooted in daily influence. How you lead in your home, every minute, every second, is rooted in your voice and your vision matter. Do you know that it matters? Your voice and your vision matter. Rhythms that give you room to rise, creating rhythms, routines, schedules. Put yourself inside. Say that this time, block time. You know how they do it? CEOs do it. They block time for certain things. Block a time for yourself to honor yourself. And influence grows from within the home. So if you're ready to take ownership of your influence and start building a life of impact and clarity from where you are, I invite you to you can book a clarity session with me. You can also book for the 5-week becoming course. And I want to thank all of you for showing up so much, because without you, I'll be talking to myself. I'm so grateful for all the people who have shown up today. I'm grateful for all those who will be watching afterwards on replay. Thank you for your time. And remember, the world is not waiting for the perfect version of you. It's waiting for a present, powerful you. I want you to go with that thought. The world is not waiting for a perfect version of you. It's waiting for a present, powerful you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And see you again next week, Friday at the same time. Except anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take questions. I'm happy to linger for a couple of minutes to take questions. If you have any questions, if you want to say anything, I'm happy to take those questions. Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, Nkoye. Thank you, Licia. Thank you, Ngozi. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Bukola. Thank you to everyone who's been here this afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can I repeat that? Okay, I said the world is not waiting for a perfect version of you. The world is waiting for a present, powerful you. Present and powerful. That's what we're waiting for. So we're not waiting for perfection. We're not waiting for you to be perfect. We're waiting for a present, powerful you. one person at a time, one person at a time, one idea at a time. You'll conquer one idea at a time. You're a leader and you have everything. That's the powerful thing. Everything. Every time I expand, every time I grow my mind, I realize that it's actually there, just waiting for space to expand. And that's what you do when you take up, you raise your voice, you pick up your voice, you help another person, you volunteer, you lead. That's what you do when you choose you. Thank you so much. And do have an amazing afternoon.